Pretty. So I'm sure you've noticed the air grows thin at this elevation. Take it slow until your body adjusts. Deep breaths, think plenty of water. A few more steps and we'll be in Worqor's Echo. Zormor. Merchants visit us from time to time. We offer them rarities only found here, while they offer us curiosities of their own in return. Everything here is giant size, but that structure in the back is of a different scale altogether. A temple of some kind, mayhap? Chilly air, stout stone construction. If I squint a bit, I might think I was in Ishgard for a moment. Thank the gods, they have an aetheryte. I don't fancy the idea of trudging up that mountain trail a second time. I knew the path led here, but I've never set foot in this village myself. Yeah, I think I'm getting used to the air up here. So this is a place from the layer proof where Papa met with the Yokui. And that must be them. I don't think I've ever seen one outside of a picture. So it is from Australia. The giants rarely visit the lowlands. Here, in their most mountain fastness, they tend to the solemn duty they pledge to undertaking their pact with the Dawn Servant. To watch over the Tural Vidral Valigarmanda and maintain its prison within their temple. Ah yes, Wuklamat told us about the Tural Vidral, creatures that live for far longer than normal and awaken to strange powers. Indeed, yet even among these anomalies, Valigarmanda is unrivaled in strength. It has endured for centuries, bringing catastrophe each time it emerged from its lair. As you learned in the Lay of Ice, it was Gulul Jaja who at last managed to imprison the beast, and it has lain dormant in the temple ever since. It's said the building still bears a gaping hole in its ceiling from when Valigarmanda was lured inside by Gulul Jaja's final ploy. I'd like to see the strongest of all Tural Vidral. I wonder what it was like to find it. Worqor's Echo was where both the Lay of Proof and the Lay of Ice took place. Does this not suggest we'll be facing two feats this time? That's a question we can ask the Lector once we find him. Or maybe we should just flush out Bakul Jaja first so I can beat my keystone out of him. No, let's do the feat first. We'll have time for that. I suppose we do still have our 4 keystones to earn. And no matter what we do, the contest will pit us against him sooner or later. Alright, let's take out the Lector. Then I suggest we pay a visit to Cariozar the Gracious. Or so their temple is called. The moblins told me that High Luminary Gurfurler... These are some names. High Luminary Gurfurler is to be found there. If we ask to ask someone for information, he seems a wise choice. Let's see if I can convince the guards to let us through. I am Moklamat, third promise of Tuliolal, and I seek your elector for the right of succession. May I speak with Furler? The High Luminary has granted admittance to the claimants. You may enter. Huh, that was easier than expected. In we go then. Gods, is that? Hi, Valigarmanda. God, that's gorgeous. Welcome. High Luminary Gerfurdler? He is not here at present. I am Luminary Zormor. This is the Sky Ruin, Valigarmanda? It is. The Turel Vidral whose name has evoked terror since time immemorial. Even my people, once conquerors of all beneath the sun, were as brittle leaves before Valigarmanda's tempestuous power. When the Sky Ruin descended upon Urkopacha 8 decades ago, the casualties were staggering. Had Glul Jaja and his companions not intervened, we would have been slaughtered to the last. Their titanic battle with Valigarmanda raged for 10 days and 10 nights. As their foe fought on tireless and relentless, our heroes were pushed beyond the limits of their endurance. First, see the head of reason concoct a desperate plan. Ulul Jaja tricked the Sky Ruin into losing control of one of its own ice magics, causing the Turel Vidral to encase itself in frozen ether. And it's been like this ever since. Nice work, Papa. But what happens if the ice ever melts? The same question looms large in our minds, for the magic sustaining its prison will grow weaker with each passing year. Valigarmanda commands powers of fire and lightning and ice. Some believe that the violence of the recent storm was a result of those energies slipping free. That raging tempest from Valigarmanda? Letting future worries aside, you are come to attempt the defeat of proof, yes? The High Luminary chosen elector of the Dawn Servant has left me with instructions for all aspiring claimants. You are to scour our forbidding mountains and find the waiting Gerfurdler. That is to be your challenge. So the search itself is a feat. You've already spoken with my brothers, I take it? I have. Their expeditions are underway. Then we'd better pick up the pace. But we need a direction to search in first. Let's see what hints we can gather from the villagers. Gods, Valigarmanda is enormous. I know Papa had friends with him, but it's incredible he could hold his own against that thing. Should its prison ever fail though, we can't expect the old guard to come running. It'll be up to us to save the day. As we've just been informed, the feat of proof requires us to seek the High Luminary Gerfurdler somewhere upon these mountains. However, If earlier feats are any indication, we must assume the challenge precludes the Yokoi from answering our questions in a straightforward manner. Thus, I will ask that you pay close attention while attempting to divine Gerfurler's whereabouts. Though the giants may not give us a precise location, there may be clues hidden within their words. Such is my theory anyway. Let us see what we can discover. Okay. Let's go interrogate some giants. What, to Leolan? No, you are from farther away than that, I think. As for the High Luminary, I can only guess where he may be. He is warder of the Sky Ruin, but also keeper of the sepulchres, and his duties often take him outside the village. You know, these guys being so big, I feel like I should be trying to like adopt a much deeper tone of voice. I don't know how low my tone can go though. Without sounding ridiculous anyway. Asking about the High Luminary as well? I know not where to find him, but I do hope you have the opportunity to speak together. He is a great man, with a deep reverence from our traditions. These glyphs we carve, for one, he affords them as much value as any treasure we possess. There are records of lives lived. Your arrival too I will etch into the stone, that the story of our meeting may endure for untold turnings of the sun. If you're curious about our ways, then I bid you visit Proof, to the northwest of here. It is one of our grave sites. Starting to form an image. Anything here? Okay, no. The High Luminary? No, I have not seen him today. Now let me ask you a question. Black Shral, who came out of the temple earlier, was that really the third promise? She seems rather unimposing. How is she meant to succeed the mighty Ghoul Jaja? Well, that was useless. Thank you very much. At the very least, two of them were kind of useful though. First things first, was anyone able to coax forth a definite location for the High Luminary? Nope. Fairly certain none of us could. As expected. What then of clues or other hints might point us in the right direction? I heard that in addition to his usual duties, Gerfurler is also charged with keeping the graves. As did I. The Yokoi sepulchres appear to hold a special significance in their culture. But would it be appropriate for us outsiders to enter the burial grounds? Proof, you say. And he encouraged you to visit this place yourself? Then let's go and take a look. Even if we don't find Gerfurler there, it will give us a chance to learn more about the Yokoi. The gravesite is somewhere northwest of here. Well, we can leave from that side of the village for a start, shall we? wasn't... Oh wait, I think I was Alice. No, it was Salvino. Oh, he wasn't joking that Red Elfino, Alice. They weren't joking that everything is giant size here. The others have gone ahead to proof, following the trail west. There are sharp drops everywhere, so we're all moving at our own pace. Some of us are not built for carry terrain. I thought to get my bearings from up here first so I don't stumble off a cliff. Why don't you try catching up to Aaronville? He should be able to point you in the right direction. That is very true. I feel bad for Kryl in this specific case. Of all of us, she's probably the one least well equipped for craggy terrain like this. I spy Red Alfino. It's not quite mountain climbing, but the steep slopes are exhausting enough. I guess I'll just follow the path. Under the assumption everybody else did the same, I guess. Take a look at this crater. There is no wood, no trees, not even dried grass, and yet the ground still burns. That must be one of the scars left by Valigarmanda's rampage, as told by the saga. The sky ruins are described as eternal flames that can be quenched by neither storm nor time. And here, I thought it a literary embellishment. But now I've lost sight of Wuklamat. Proof is northwest along the main road, so hopefully she's still heading the right way. You know, this place just... It gives me the same strange feeling of home that the Azim Step gave me. Urkopacha may... I still have a lot to explore, but this may actually be a new favorite zone for me. And as per usual, Token's night themes are the best freaking thing ever. There she is. Wuklamat wins again. I wasn't aware this was a race. Looks like everyone is here now, so... Greetings, friend. Have you Girdlerfer? No, I am not. The High Luminary did, however, task me with providing a lesson on sepulchres to those who came in search of him. Oh, so we were meant to find our way here after all. Are you to tell us who is buried here? No one is buried here in the sense you mean. When a body has served its purpose, we consign it to the flames, then scatter its ashes across the peaks. Moreover, we do not conceive of death as others do. For us, a person does not die when their heart ceases to beat, but only when they are no longer born in the hearts of all who know them. This is why we build our sepulchres before age or mishap claims us, that we might etch ourselves into the living chronicle for all eternity. This grave belongs to a good friend. His mortal vessel ended its journey some years ago, but he lives within me even now. Upon there stands my own sepulchre. As long as it exists, so too will I. I will endure in the hearts of those who read my grave glyphs in the same manner my friend does in mine. Has it always been thus for your people, this conception of existence and death? Continue along this path to the indelible passage. Behold the history upon its walls, and you may find the answers to your questions. Then that's what we'll do. Your traditions are fascinating, and I love to know more. I thank you for allowing me to share them, for in doing so, I will remain in your hearts also. Hello! A fellow we met at Proof suggested that we come here. Yes, the High Luminary commanded that I watch for your arrival. As chronicles for all people, it has ever been my family's duty to pass on the teachings of the murals from generation to generation. These really are magnificent. And together they tell the tale of your people's history? They are the events which shaped us. I would share them with you ere you continue on your way. Please, we would love to hear all about it. Then I will begin. The first mural depicts a time when, more than 1100 years ago, an age of great prosperity for the Yokui. Blessed with size and strength unmatched by other peoples, our ancestors marched forth and brought much of Yoktural under their dominion. Then, when all before them had been conquered, they turned their gaze northward, seeking to expand their territory and power. Here we see the expedition to Shaktural. Unable to cross the strait by ship, our forefathers set to building a bridge to the northern lands, a grand labor which consumed the greater part of a century. Zorgor the Boundless. We still make use of that bridge into Liolal for travel. I can't imagine the patience and dedication it took to complete a work of that scale. But I've never heard of any Yokui living in Shaktural. What happened to the ones that went north? Look upon this next mural and behold the answer. The scenes suggest that many giants perished all at once. What manner of enemy could have repelled their invasion? Oh, that imagery is so sad. A foe unnamed and unseen. When the expedition pushed forth into Shaktural those 1,000 years ago, its soldiers were felled by disease. Some terrible illness? No, no virulent plague or newly arisen blight. For the local Tonawauta and Shetona, it was but a mild affliction of the sort that comes with the training of the seasons. What manifested for them as slight fevers and coughs, however, proved deadly to our people. Out of every 10 Yokoi who joined that northern campaign, 9 succumbed to the infection. Those who survived continued to suffer, finding it difficult to sire offspring. I've heard of this before. Lacking an inherited resistance, visitors to distant lands can fall deadly ill to disease a local might shrug off. These events might have also given rise to the practice of cremation rather than the burial of mortal remains. This final mural depicts the return to our grieving brethren to Urkupacha. The reason they first left, why they had fought so long and pushed so far, was to ensure peace for our homeland. This undertaking began in ancient times, when our forebears learned they shared the continent with peoples unlike to us in appearance or custom. They feared the invasion was inevitable. Rather than meekly await their fate, they decided to strike the first blow. Yet as they fought on and on, the old idea of peace drifted further and further away. Only after the disaster in Shaktural and their withdrawal to the mountains did they come to understand. The peace we envisioned had been ours for the taking all along. It was here in the place which birthed us, here in the stones upon which we recorded our days. Here in this tranquil life we had traded for conquest and conflict. When you do nothing but fight, it can blind to what's right before your eyes. And so we return to the present. I trust you found this brief history of our people enlightening? I'm always glad to learn more about my fellow Turali, how you lived until now, and how you wish to live from now on. Then I believe you are ready to proceed. The High Luminary bids you meet him at the summit of Worqor Zormor. I had a feeling we'd end up scaling that big old mountain. Oh, it's a feat worthy of the name. Follow the trace south of here to begin your ascent, but be wary. Beyond the entryway, the mountainside is home to ferocious beasts both mundane and otherwise. We'll keep that in mind. Thank you for the warning and the lesson. Finally, we know where we're going. To the top or Worqor Zormor. If I had known we'd be climbing Worqor Zormor, I may not have raced up and down all the trails. My feet are killing me. You should probably not be using sandals to climb mountains. This fine mountain air is going to be the death of me. What? How long have you been standing there? I was just taking in the scenery, that's all. Come on. We don't want to fall too far behind Luffy now and the others. You know, as a Mexico City dweller, well, pretty much all of my infancy, but I no longer live there. But there was this very sadistic pleasure I got from seeing people just like absolutely underestimate how hard thin mountain air and altitude sickness can hit people. It's nothing to laugh about, except when you're a native. You remember how the Chronicle was saying that the more they fought, the further away they moved from their idea of peace? It occurs to me that if Sir Alja is attempting the feat of proof, then he will have heard that same lesson. I can only hope that it's made him reconsider his own stand on educating people through war.
set is one tall mountain, and we're supposed to climb it?
Oh,
Zormor, Tuliorlu, Korogar.
He's speaking the old Yokhui tongue. The words are difficult to catch.
Though your words are crude and cumbersome, I use them for your benefit. You are a claimant in this right of succession.
That's right.
Then, if you die, Tuliola loses a potential ruler.
That's a dark thing to say, friend. I get the feeling you don't share the opinions of the other Yokhui we've met.
We do not grovel before Galul, Jar Jar, like those shameless lapdogs. My brethren and I are conquerors, and we will restore our people to their rightful place as Tural's overlords.
The giants have their own factions too, it seems.
You think your kin weak for showing deference to my father, but they do not follow the man. It is his peace they respect, a peace they always wanted, which they realized could be had right here.
Justifications of the craven. They turn their gaze from our ancestors, from the dream we kept alive for 1,000 years and more. They are unworthy of bearing our legacy. I will reclaim the glory of our people. And our ascension begins with the death of the third promise.
Stop! I don't want to fight you!
Then die on your knees. Opportunistic vermin seek to feast on us, do you? Get down here. Your neck will be the first I snap this day.
That's right! I didn't put much thought into it. My legs were moving before I knew what was happening. I suppose I feared you'd die before we had the chance to get to know each other. Before I could learn more about you.
To what end?
Oh, that's simple. If we're to share the land, it's the best way for us to become friends. How is he?
He'll live. Not quite ready to walk under his own strength, however.
If you could stay and tend to him, the rest of us will continue on to Worqor Zormor.
Understood. Be careful up there.
This changes nothing. We will not forsake our conquest.
As you like. You want to kill me, you're welcome to try. But right now, you might want to worry about your comrade.
On a mountain of that size, there are bound to be creatures even I've never heard of. I'll trust you to lead the way.
Then we climb. Worqor is waiting.
Oh, that's exciting. Interesting little birds. Worqor Terte. Why are the bosses in these dungeons so freaking adorable? This is not fair, Square Enix. Crossing fracas. Okay. Waffle up.
Let's give them a show.
Okay, that was kind of dumb of me. Oh, I get it now. Ow. Okay, pay attention this time. Worqor 3? Oh. Interesting. Wow. Cavalry order. Alright. This time we pay attention. Oh!
Hold still. Let's give them a show.
Excuse me. I can tell you now, some people are going to struggle with that boss.
I am Gurfulur, Elector of the Dawn Servant. Prepare to be tested.
Worqor further, before we face off, I must get this off my chest. Your beard is absolutely kick-ass. It's quite huge, yeah. Alright, here goes.
Prove you are worthy to rule.
I'll handle the healing. Back off.
Sabin, break out the fury of erupting beasts. Chronicles of it. Retell the hunger of roaring waters. I will take the measure of your resolve.
That is a lot of markers, holy fuck. Oh shit!
Implacable strength of the mountain, be mine! Spirit of my brethren, your thunder roars! That you should endure my fury.
If he's allowed to get all of those buffs, I can absolutely see that being a soft rage.
Chronicles of it, recall the cruelty of merciless storms.
Also, he tanky, holy ho.
I'll handle the heat. I have you now. Try this.
Interesting fight. I like that one. Of course, it wasn't Wuklamat. Morality, I just kept confusing her for Red of, you know. Oh my god. I'm so used to her being a DPS that it didn't really cross my attention.
Very good, claimant. Once more, I name myself Gur Fulur, High Luminary to my people, and chosen Elector of the Dawn Servant.
You are much bigger than the others in the village.
All Yokui were once my equal in size, but ever since we were decimated by disease, It is rare to see a child reach our former stature.
You speak of the contagion which afflicted the Shaktural expedition? The one recorded in your murals?
It is a chapter of our history that is entangled with the legend of the Golden City.
I've heard that legend originated with the Yorqui. Is this true?
With the visions our ancestors had, to be precise. Preceding the campaign into Shaktural, many were visited by dreams of glittering splendor. They described a paradise that knew neither war nor famine, where people lived lives of eternal happiness. A single dreamer might have been dismissed, but when dozens, if not hundreds, spoke the same, the luminaries became convinced it was divine revelation.
Then the expedition.
Its purpose was to find the City of Gold. Yes, help was marshaled from all the territories under our control. Lands were scoured on a massive scale.
Ah, little wonder the legend is so similar across Tural. Those involved with the search would have passed the stories down to their children.
Another claimant, I see. I will test your worth, as I have tested those who came before you.
Here and now, I think he means.
Yep. I feel like he kicked Ranger's ass.
Well fought, second promise. For you and your sister's success in performing the feat of proof. You both shall be rewarded.
Three to go.
How glorious it would have been to race thee and thine to the summit. Though mayhap not whilst being hounded by Bakul Jaja and his minions.
Again, that swine shows his disdain for the right.
Strangely, despite his eagerness to antagonize us, he withdrew as soon as we fought back in earnest. I cannot fathom what he was trying to achieve. On a similar note, I'm also curious as to why you chose the peak of Worqor Zormor for the conclusion of this feat. The earlier stages saw us learn the history of the Yorqui. Does this location also hold some special meaning for your people?
Yes, it is a place of great significance.
Oh.
All these monuments. Is this a burial ground?
Every high luminary before me is enshrined in this earth. Alongside them are the heroes who bravely stood their ground when Valigarmanda brought ruin to Urkopacha 8
explains why there are so many.
Zorolja, I should have known you'd arrive here first.
Those two were split? What?
Ah! Third promise. How relieved I am to find you in good health.
Zorolja, you bastard! I should end you here and now!
Remember where you are. You will mind your conduct, or you will leave.
Right. Sorry.
I see no reason to delay further. Show me my father's sepulchre.
Papa has a grave?
He's a great rally hero, and these people create graves before. That would make sense.
Upon this monument are inscribed the names of those who sealed away the monstrous Valigarmanda, your fathers included.
Gulul Jaja, Master of Resolve and Reason, Champion of Peace.
Look at this one. Kettenram, Navigator of Uncharted Oceans.
Kettenram? The Laminsan explorer? Does this mean he joined Galul Jaja on his travels?
Kafkiwa, Seeker of the Unknown. How strange to see your name here.
It was unheard of to build living sepulchres for those who were not Yokwi. But their great deed demanded recognition.
Master of Resolve and Reason, Champion of Peace? Papa really did some amazing things.
He carved his path with martial skill.
Yet it was clever thinking which allowed him to trap Valigarmanda within its own ice magics.
Martial skill and clever thinking. I can't compete with Zorolja's mastery of the Head of Resolve's techniques. And when it comes to knowledge, Kona's the one who most takes after the Head of Reason. Is there anything that I've gotten from Papa? Something I do better than the others?
She should figure this one out for herself. I cannot give her all the answers.
What else defines him? Oh, of course. Papa's love for peace, for his people. That is what he's given me. And I'm fighting to preserve the peaceful Tural he built. What in the hells was that?
You must return to Warlar's Echo immediately. Valigarmanda has broken free.
I presume that was about the unholy sound?
Yep.
Valigarmanda is free.
We need to get back there, now!
How fortuitous.
We have been gifted an opportunity to outpace our rivals.
There is much I would explain, but by the time I arrived to investigate the sudden surge in ether, there were already fallen giants everywhere. Right now, everyone is preoccupied with treating to the wounded. Pray catch your breath and then lend a hand where you can. If you are ready, there are many injured here who need aid. Should you find anyone passed out from their wounds, I ask that you alert me to them. Otherwise, I shall be tending to whomever requires the most urgent healing. We can gather here once we've seen to these people's hurts. You, the third promises protector. Everything was bathed in bright red. A searing heat enveloped my whole body. I couldn't move. Oof. That sounds awful. I've done all I can for now. The injured you found were awake and alert then? That is well. We've left the injured as comfortable as we could. Many were suffering from burns to a greater or lesser degree. Did the fire sweep through the village? The details are unclear. Once I've healed the giant attacked by the mountain bird, the group's leader, Worqor, I believe they call him, bade me depart. It was then that I felt an intense wave of ether, and returned to find Worqor's echo in this state. I rushed over to the first giant I saw. To delirious with pain, he repeated the same warning. Valigarmanda had broken free. Thus did I contact you with all haste. Well, we're going to need more information than that before we can deal with the situation. Yes, we should speak with the temple guard and see what's become of the Sky Ruins prison. The High Luminary grants you entry and awaits you within.
What happened?
So it's true. The ice has failed.
Zormor, tell them what you told me.
A short while ago, a claimant paid us a visit.
Oh no.
Who enters this hallowed hall? Ah, a claimant.
Oh, and here we have the mighty Valigarmanda.
A terrifying Vitral. With every awakening, it has seared its ruinous name into the memories of a new generation.
What a good little terror. You've stayed napping right up until the day I needed you.
Explain yourself.
It is as they say. Gulul Jaja caused its magic to run rampant, trapping it in a frozen prison of its own creation. Clever. Clever. To unmake it, it would be quite tricky. 2 spells must be cast at the exact same moment. A conflagration intense enough to melt the ice, and awakening flame to rekindle the slumbering Vitral's soul. The only ones capable of such harmonious execution would be the heads of reason and resolve. And the blessed siblings, Bakul Jaja.
You mustn't!
But I already have. Rise and rage, little terror. I might have overdone the fire a bit.
Utter madness. Why have you done this?
For the throne, of course.
Huh?
You unleash calamity for your own gain? Have you any idea how many may die?
Wreak havoc, Valigarmanda. Live up to your legend.
A messenger to Tuli Yolol has been dispatched. The Landsguard will send a contingent, I am sure. But there is no telling when they will arrive.
Idiot! This monstrous act is a step too far, even for him!
So, what's the plan?
If we leave the Vidral to others, it will be a massacre. Some might call it the wiser choice, if I don't want to fall behind the competition. But I could never live with myself. And my supporters deserve a better ruler. So that's that. I will stay and fight Valigarmanda. This is an enemy so powerful that even my father failed to slay it. Alone, I don't stand a chance. I understand you've no obligation to aid me outside the right of succession. But for the sake of Urkopacha and its people, I beg you, join me in this battle.
If you had to ask.
Far be it from us to abandon a dear comrade in her time of need.
Dear comrades now, eh? I have to say, it does have a comforting ring to it. Knowing someone has your back makes it easier to do what you have to do.
And what will we do?
One committed to winning the contest above all else would race on ahead.
If you're resolved to slay Valigarmanda, we'll need to find out where the beast went.
That's what we have you for, old friend.
And we're going like, oh, why did I ask?
Inform the Bello of the danger. They may need to flee to lower ground.
At which point do these a-holes actions disqualify him from all of this mess? So, Aaronville, any ideas on how we can track Valigarmanda? Tried and true method of comparing sightings with other signs of passage is the most reliable, but also the most time-consuming. There's a second option. Not as reliable as the first, but if we're lucky it will let us ascertain these kind of ruins' whereabouts far more quickly. Though a Turalvidral of extraordinary nature, Valigarmanda is still a creature of this world. Like you and me, it is thus sustained by corporeal energy and possesses an unique ethereal balance, which means this device should come in handy. Floating hand? Now's not the time to be playing with toys. What is that? It's an ether seeker. As the name suggests, gleaners use it to detect the ether of living things. And you had that in your pack this whole time? I can calibrate it to follow a specific ethereal aspect. The problem with Valigarmanda, however, is that it can shift freely between the elements of fire, ice, of lightning. Well, we know that in order to awaken Valigarmanda from its icy imprisonment, Bakul Jaja cast spells which quickened its fire aspect ether, and the residents here were uniformly afflicted by burns. Therefore, the logical conclusion is, upon breaking free, Valigarmanda unleashed a great fury blast. Then the choice is plain: fire. The Seeker, however, is not without its faults, as we were not able to input our acquired unique's etheric signature in advance. The device will respond to any living source of a fire aspected ether. So we have the reliable yet slow method of information gathering versus the potentially swift but easily misled Gleaner tool. I say, why not pursue both methods at the same time? Good idea, we'll have the first to fall back on if the second fails. You travel with me then. Okay. In case the Seeker leads me to some other Fury Fend. The rest of us can stay behind and talk to eyewitnesses. The more Sky Ruin sightings we can compare, the more accurate information will be. If no one has any objections, I shall remain here in the village and tend to the Yokhui. Very few are seriously injured, but I'm wary of wounds inflicted by a creature like Valigarmanda. I should like to be close at hand should their condition suddenly worsen. Right, it sounds like you have work to do. We should be on our way as well. We'll head to the outskirts of the village first and set the seeker to detect fire aspected ether. Right, the seeker is ready to go. Warlord's Echo is still suffused with the sky ruins residual ether, so I've excluded it from the search area to prevent from swamping the sensors. Let's begin tracking, shall we? Okay. Affirmative. Tracking nearest source of fire aspected ether. I'm just gonna focus target it just in case. Quests tend to have the terrible tendency to have detours. Source of fire aspected ether located. Tracking disengaged. Not quite the legendary creature we were after. Would you mind dealing with that fire sprite? It will continue to confuse the seeker if we let it be. Alright, here is starting to feel a little bit on the weaker side. Probably next dungeon I start getting upgrades. A necessary measure, I'm afraid. Let's try this again. Affirmative. Tracking nearest source of fire aspected ether. That looks pretty fiery. Friday enough, but again, not what we're looking for. If you would be so kind. It kinda sucks that we have to clear the valley of fire-aspected creatures. Being as in and of themselves, they did nothing to deserve getting their asses kicked. My thanks. I'd ask if we give you any trouble, but considering who I'm talking to... Okay, let's continue. Another full bed, I guess. Oh, another remnant of Valigarmanda's last rampage. Crater's flames are registered to the Seeker as corporeal ether. In the words of the Tuloyola saga, when Valigarmanda reaches out of control, its fire burns forever, its eyes does not thaw, and its lightning crackles without cease. Thus one was the Dawn Servant able to turn the Sky Ruin's perpetual magic against itself, trapping it within an unmelting prison of ice. This is no mundane fire, but some kind of everlasting sorcery. Once again, it is a strange feeling to see fanciful poetry proven true. The important thing is that the fire was classified as living ether. We can feed a sample into the Seeker and greatly improve its accuracy. One moment. There. Now the Seeker should ignore any etheric signature but Valigarmanda's. Had I realized it was possible from the start, then you needn't have fought those creatures at all. My apologies. It seems I still have much to learn from this journey as a gleaner and as a guide. This time the Seeker should be attracted solely to Valigarmanda's ether. Resume tracking based on the data sample. Affirmative. Resuming tracking. Sample ethereal signature detected. Engaging accelerated pursuit mode. How far is that? That's a fair bit far away. Should I go down the valley or try going into that part I haven't gone to first? Good. The Seeker was drawn directly to the Sky Ruins fire. Now we know we've set the correct parameters for the ethereal aspect. I'll try increasing the threshold for etheric concentration. That should direct us to the trail viral itself. Recalibrating sensors. Resuming tracking. Yeah, we're seeing quite a few of those craters around here. Those definitely read Valigarmanda was here. I think we'd notice if Valigarmanda was inside this passage. Let's head through to the other side. One thing that just crossed my mind is, while Valigarmanda was encased in ice, it looked remarkably like the Espers trapped in their own ether in Final Fantasy VI. That's very probably by design.
The trail ends here, it seems. Could Valigarmanda have shifted its elemental aspect? It does have 3 to choose from, after all. In any case, I'm almost certain the Vidral was headed in the direction of Worqor Lardor. We should let the others know we have a likely location.
Alphino is assisting the Yokhui with their evacuation. He thought they could use a healing hand with the injured.
So where is Valigarmanda?
Worqor Lardor. Its stratified layers contain a wealth of crystals, said to be the source of its many-colored glow. After 80 years of imprisonment, the Vidral will be in dire need of sustenance. It would have been drawn to the mountain's energies.
So Valigarmanda seeks to replenish its ether.
Then we'd better not give it the chance.
Stop!
Oh god. What?
That mountain is sacred ground. I forbid you to set foot on it.
Sorry, It is not our intention to trespass. But you must understand, that's where Valigarmanda has gone. If we don't slay it now, it will slaughter countless innocents. Just like in the old days, I beg you, permit us to enter.
Out of the question. Your band is incapable of defeating Valigarmanda. Either you seek to defile Worqor Lardor, or you are fools.
If you doubt their chances, how would you feel were we to join them? The monument to Valigarmanda's defeat bears the names of 7 heroes. With our forces combined, we also number 7.
Seven weaklings are no less doomed than 4.
Zoralcha, you've come to help as well.
Against my sound advice. While the rest of you were tussling with this sky ruin, we might have secured an insurmountable lead.
A minor delay. It will not change the contest's outcome. I would take the measure of this Tural Vidral my father was unable to kill.
With both my brothers here, this battle is all but won.
Your celebration is premature. I never said I would let you pass.
Brother, no! We do not bear arms against our own people!
What an odd thing to say. As I recall, the inhabitants of Chir Wagur Sultan do not consider themselves members of the Tuli-Yolal nation. I'd hardly call them our own people.
What does that matter? Members or not, everyone in Tural is part of our dream for peace. If you would hurt them, then you'll have to go through me.
She saved me from the mountain bird. Now, then,
The same eyes. Eyes of stone. Words of stone.
We are still in her debt. This is true. Consider the debt repaid. But do not misunderstand. We do not submit to Tuliolan rule.
Aye, you've made your point. We can talk more once the contest is over.
I ask your name.
Worqor, protector of peace, and soon-to-be Dawn servant.
Even people with wildly different ideals can find understanding through earnest discussion. I believe that, wholeheartedly.
As do I. I won't give up until we reach a compromise.
Assuming you survive. My old bones and I will be waiting here for the true heir's return.
Your thoughts have always been a mystery to me, brother. But I'm relieved to see you put aside the contest for the sake of the greater good.
Our nation is a fortress, and its people the bricks with which it is built. The more that are lost or broken, the weaker Tuliyolal becomes. Even the crudest rock has value as a stepping stone.
He had to go on and undo everything he just said with that one sentence.
Come on, you two. Forget about the right of succession for now, and help me fight this overgrown snake bird. I don't care how strong the Sky Ruin may be. We're going to put this menace down for good.
Oh, nice. I would appreciate that. I know trials are extremely hard to code for. I'm definitely going to do this with AI the first time around. I'm not going to read the small talk real quick. I just want to see what the reader has to say. We win. Intrepid and innovator. Huh, interesting. So my being there means that Zoologia isn't in? I would have thought he was a... Oh wait, no, he's a viper. Derp. Okay, here goes. What on earth is that? Oh no. That's like barely in melee range. Oh. Altitude mechanics. In a while.
Together we shall overcome this.
All hail feathers. Oh, I should have been grounded. Okay, I get that. Okay. Truly disaster. That's quite the name. That thing is so huge, what the hell? That fire effect is going to hurt a lot on the X. No! Okay, that was simple but interesting. I look forward to the X. You expected more? We won? We won! That's a pretty funny one. Tancred, you got anything to say? That's not.
We did it. We slew Valigarmanda. A feat that even the great Gulul Chacha couldn't manage. For you, Papa!
There's no denying it was an impressive achievement, but I wouldn't be so quick to claim we've outdone Father. The Federal was weakened by decades of imprisonment. Had we faced it in its prime, we wouldn't have fared a fraction as well.
How can you say that? 80 years couldn't have made that much of a difference. Could it?
I'm gonna withhold my opinion on that.
Oh, who am I kidding? Papa's still the best. You're right about that. Just need a few more battles like this one under my belt.
The Sky Ruin lies dead, and still, I've yet to prove myself the miracle.
Well, I suppose we should head back and join Erenville.
We did leave him with only Sarelja for company.
So he's not quite in the same league as Bakul Jaja. Sarelja definitely does feel a little bit like there ain't a lizard I would be happier to call a snake. Alright, let's finish this quest and I am going to take a short break to get something to eat. Your proud expressions bespeak a successful hunt. Not that I'm surprised in the least. Sarelja came back earlier, but left almost immediately with Sarelja in tow. He seemed disinclined to share in any victory celebrations. That's nothing unusual for Sarelja. No, it's Bakul Jaja that concerns me. He's probably far ahead now, making the most of the mayhem he caused. I can't believe he did something so evil just to slow us down. If we hadn't slain Valigarmanda, it wasn't only Urkopacha at risk. There would have been deaths across the entire continent. I'm more certain than ever that Bakul Jaja cannot be allowed to rule. I have to catch him and take back my keystone. The Yorkuli must still be anxious, wondering where and when Valigarmanda will strike next. I suggest we hurry back and allay their fears. Alfie notes as well, I should think. Yes, you're right. We shouldn't let them worry another moment. Before we do anything else, we should talk to Worqor.
To the temple, then.
That won't be necessary, heroes of the hour. Valigarmanda is no more. Yours is a victory worthy of song.
We had plans for a second feat to be conducted here in town. But the recklessness of your fellow claimant has rendered them pointless.
A second feat?
The feat of ice. You were to fortify Valigarmanda's prison. How shall we proceed, High Luminary?
What more would we test, Zormor? They have defeated the Sky Ruin and saved the gods know how many lives. If they are not worthy heirs to Kulul Jaja, then no one is. Now that our last claimant has arrived, we can proceed with the formalities. For the skill and bravery the three of you have shown, I award you each a second keystone.
That makes 5. Only 2 left to collect.
Except that one of those 5 is in Bakul Jaja's thieving hands. He will answer for that. And for losing Valigarmanda.
You have brought lasting tranquility to our home and earned the gratitude of every Yokhui. May glory and prosperity continue to bless Tuliolol as we enter this new age.
Was never much of a talker, our brother. If you're up for it, you should visit the capital. I'd like everyone to get to know you and your people better.
Ha! I'll consider it. If it's one of you two who claims the throne.
Then you need only await a missive from Sunperch. I'll be sending out invitations.
Oh.
Today is a day for unusual visitors.
You... Worqor, was it not? I doubted you could slay Valigarmanda, but the quiet skies proclaim your triumph. Had the Vidral been suffered to roam free, it would have terrorized us all. Once again, we find ourselves in your debt.
You owe us nothing. We fought because we wanted to.
Yet a debt has been incurred. All the same, it will haunt me if I do not repay it.
I wouldn't even know what to ask for.
Perhaps he can tell us about the dreams of the Golden City.
Oh, good idea! That was on my list of questions I wanted to ask.
The Golden Dreams. Yes, we have records of our forebears and their visions from the time before the Shaktural expedition.
What did your forebears see?
A heavenly land, suffused with a golden glow. Its people lived
A statue of a goddess. That's new.
Aye, and compared to the abstract imagery we'd previously heard, this was a detailed description.
The dreamers were consumed by their visions, compelled to seek out the paradise they'd been shown. They journeyed to Shak-Tural, where they died in droves.
Those who go in search of the Golden City do not return. The tales Worqor shared may have been rooted in historical fact.
Perhaps. Who can know the truth of it? Once our ancestors left the forest, there were no more dreams. No dreamers.
It's interesting.
The forest? What do you mean?
From the very first, the visions were set to visit only those who worked the quarries in Yaktel. But after they were ravaged by disease and saw fewer newborns, they were forced to abandon that territory. Once our people's withdrawal to Urkopacha was complete, we never again dreamed of the Golden City.
So only Yokhui in that one specific area experienced the visions. Fascinating.
Well, we're headed to Yaktel next. Maybe we'll find out more when we get there. Thank you for sharing your stories with us.
I do not require gratitude. I merely repaid a debt. Farewell, Lamat. I do not think our paths will cross again.
I don't think Worqor and his brethren will have a sudden change of heart about Tuliyollal, but that doesn't mean they'll never change at all. Today is proof of that. I think it's time we return to Tuliyollal. After scaling Thorel's tallest mountain and battling a legendary beast to the death, even dauntless heroes like you could probably use a rest. In any case, there are preparations to be made before we can visit the next destination laid out in the saga. The respite will be most welcome. I believe I hear the further cabins calling our names. Ah. Rest well, everyone. We can meet back here later on. I have a small errand to run in the city, so I'll leave you to recover. Will you be heading to the palace, Wuklamat? Wuklamat? You hear me? Lost in her, own little world, it seems. Well, no matter. I'll be back soon enough. An attendant is standing by to unlock your cabin. Enjoy your stay. Ah. Oh. What am I meant to do? Welcome back, Mrs. Rainare. Your cabin is just as you left it, minus a light layer of dust.
You have a moment? There's something I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay. Well, what is it?
So,
Out with it. What?
It's just too stuffy in here, that's what.
No, it's not.
We should go outside. Aye, a nice walk in the fresh air, that's what we need.
I just came back into my cabin. Fine. Can I, like, take a break for 2 minutes? Okay, what is it? Sorry to drag you away from your nice, comfortable cabin, but I could feel the walls closing in. Oh, I know. I'll take you to one of my favorite places in Tuliyolal. That should help me get my thoughts in order. We'll go to the Resplendent Quarter and make our way up from there. Okay. Ishio, what are you doing up and about? Is your back feeling better? It's much healed now, so don't make a fuss. Besides, I can't be lounging in bed all day while you're out there fighting your hardest to win the throne. You're the claimant with the greatest love for peace. I love this nation of ours, and lending you my support is the least I can do. And if you smile like that, how can I not be encouraged? There's plenty more who believe in our cause. I can recruit a whole battalion of smiling faces if you think it'll help. Yours alone is more than enough. Thank you, Peshiwa. And thank you, Third Promise. I shall pray for your success in the contest. All those smiling faces. Ah, sorry, Talke. I'm getting distracted. Just that with the progress you made in the contest, even these everyday encounters feel that much more special. Do you think we can take our time and maybe wander around a little bit? Then we can head to that spot I was thinking of.
This is much better. I used to come here all the time when I was little. Would look out over the whole city, and whatever worries I had would seem So small. Do you remember what I said at the top of Worqor Zormor? That I would fight to preserve Papa's peaceful Tural? Well, I've been thinking a lot since then. About what peace really means. If it's just the absence of war. And it brought to mind all the best parts of our journey so far. I realized nothing gives me greater joy than the happiness of others. Life has its ups and downs, but the company of family and friends and the music of their laughter is what makes it worth living. And as silly as it might sound, I've come to believe that those smiling faces are the best measure of peace.
That's the sort of thing I'd expect you to say.
Really? I feel proud somehow. It's an answer I arrived at by trying to be true to myself. That you think I succeeded, it means a lot. So, this is my plan. When I become Dawn Servant, I'll build on Papa's peace. Our people will live together in happiness. It's just like Kryl said. By taking the time to hear their concerns, understand their feelings, and consider how best to serve, with each passing day, I'll be that much closer to becoming the leader I want to be. It's hard for me to say how much I've changed since the contest began. But there's one thing I can say with confidence. I wouldn't have come this far without you as allies. If it wasn't for you all listening and feeling and thinking along with me, I would have never learned so much, and in so short a time. There are 2 keystones left. After everything that's happened, and imagining what could happen, are you still willing to walk this path with me?
Do you even have to ask?
Thank the gods for that. Well, I have nothing else to get off my chest. I need to head to the palace, but I'll see you back at the cabins.
You look to be in good spirits. I assure me your leisure time was well spent. I was glad to snatch some quality sleep myself. After all, it will soon be back to the road for us. I'm sure the others will be along shortly. I do hope everyone has rested well. Now that we have refreshed ourselves somewhat, let us consider all claimants as they currently stand. Zoroloja and Koana have completed their refit thus far and thus hold 5 keystones apiece. Woklamat would be equal with them, but for Bakul Jaja's thievery, which has left us one short. That conniving braggart didn't so much as lift a finger for the feat of proof and wreaked havoc for the feat of eyes. He can't have more than 3 keystones at most. He may think he can simply steal what he needs to win, but he's sorely mistaken. I will be taking back what is mine. This I swear. I fear that reclaiming your keystone may not be enough. That is, if Bakul Jaja's unleashing of Valigarmanda is any indication. Using his lead, I anticipate that he will move to obtain the remaining keystones before disrupting his rival's attempts. We may all find ourselves being forced to take from one another. I can't say I'd be comfortable with that. But neither will I surrender my claim to the throne so easily. If it's for the sake of preserving the happiness of my people, I will do what I must. The last 2 keystones we require are those of the Lay of Repast and the Lay of the Brotherhood. The former depicts the cessation of hostilities between the Mamulja and Ekshpral in the forests of Yakdal, specifically near a village called Ikbrach. That's where I was born, if you recall. I haven't been back there since Papa took me when I was a baby. Where the Lay of Brotherhood takes place, however, is unclear. In the saga, it is said that a foreign explorer came seeking an audience with the Dawn Servant, but little more than that. Yours has a similar tale. The explorer Katenram befriended a 2-headed king known as the Autarch before commencing his travels across Rutural. He journeyed here several times afterwards, but was ultimately lost at sea. At least that's the commonly held belief. Your 2-headed king certainly sounds like Papa, so this Katenram fellow must have come to Tuliyolal. But if he indeed arrived some 80 years ago, the capital may not have been built yet, vestiges of Yokhoi architecture notwithstanding. Wait, you said Autarch? Didn't you? Then Ketenra must have meant the Dawn Servant in Mamuk. Mamuk, is that a city? One of the grandest in Tural once upon a time, and the seat of the Mamulja's homeland. It too lies in Yaktel, not far from Ikbrach. Then, all things considered, Yaktel seems like the obvious choice for our next destination. From here, the safest method of travel is by dirigible. We should make for the landing once our preparations are complete. We are riding on Koana's balloons? They can't be worse than the ships, can they? They're fine. If they're anything like airships. The next flight to Yaktel will be leaving shortly. Passengers are asked to keep hands, legs, and luggage inside the dirigible at all times. Are we sure that thing will stand here all the way to Yaktel? Are you ready? Bags packed and goodbye said. There's no going back once we lift off. Not that I'm nervous or anything, just making sure you are not nervous. I appreciate the consideration. Oh, who am I kidding? My knees won't stop shaking. Will you hold my hand just until I've settled my nerves? Maybe ask Caramel. Do you know anyone more likely to reject her than Caramel? You're the nicest person I've ever met. I'll try not to cross your hand. There she is. Their promise, wait just a moment. Madeline, totally. Of course, I'll wait as long as you need. Sorry to delay you, but we were able to discover the origin of Kryle's ring. Is that so? You said before it gained popularity in Yogg-Tural as a protective ward for travelers, correct? That's right. We tracked down the elderly merchant to whom first sales are attributed. According to him, the design imitates an accessory worn by a foreign mage he met at market some 20 years ago. Then did he know that charming taste of salt would prove to be a commercial triumph? A foreign mage wearing this earring could only be grandfather. Did the merchant happen to mention which market? One in Yaktel, to where it seems you're already bound. What luck! Then I shall seek my next clue once we arrive. Is it mere coincidence that I brought my grandfather here, or yet another discovery to look forward to? Thank you both for coming all this way. Anything for the third promise. Good luck with the rest of the ride. Thanks. I won't let you down. I've just got to board this dirigible and I'm as good as there. Last call for passengers to Yaktel. I really hope she wins. Yaktel would test her mettle, without doubt. The next Dawn servant must be willing to bear the full weight of this nation's history, no matter how heavy that may be.